Hello, beautiful beings. Hello, hello. I'm here today to talk about an abundant mindset. Surprise, 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 surprise. I did take my hat off because I don't always have a hat in my videos. I know it's like pretty much a hallmark of my personality, but we're hatless today. I want to talk about abundance. I want to talk about not being able to attract more than what you feel at home with, because I think that is the marker, right? If you feel like you're coming from a lack or a deficit, you will constantly be attracting that. And that is what the law of attraction is constantly maintaining. It's constantly saying, like, if you think about lack, if you energetically feel like you're in a place of lack, you are going to continuously attract that lack because of the thoughts that you have, beliefs that you have, the visions that you maintain, and how that kind of catapults you even closer to that lack, right? And how do you steer clear of that? So how do we reorient our framework? How do we reorient our minds to not believe that? And easier said than done. I'm not necessarily coming from the place of material wealth and success. Like I really am not. I'm not here saying like, oh, like here's how you make $800 million. Like I will not claim that. Won't. But what I mean is an abundant mindset. An abundant mindset is not just limited to finances. And I know people who have it all material wise, like who are successful material wise, have a home, have the car, have the yacht, whatever, like just have everything that they could even imagine in terms of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and are like like just dead inside. Like feel have like or soul sucking or like living soul sucking lives because they have no fulfillment, no purpose, no passion, but just kind of use these things to overcompensate. I'm not saying that about anyone who has material success. I'm not conflating that anybody who is like who has a lot of wealth, that's not the narrative I'm trying to maintain. I'm just saying that I know there's possibilities where people can have material abundance and also just be like so empty on the inside. So just kind of trying to cut through that. And how do you develop an abundant mindset? Oh my gosh, this truck. How do you develop an abundant mindset, especially when you don't necessarily come from that or have that within the 3D? I really hope that's not super loud for you guys. I'm sorry. I will speak for myself that I did not come from a, you know, highly materialistic upbringing. I had a single mom who tried her best. Like, Mom, I see you. I really see you. And I am so grateful for you because you really have, set that discipline and that motivation and just instilled these values and principles for like just being a strong, hardworking woman. And I really am so proud of that. And when I have children, I'd like to instill that as well. But I do know that there was also many sacrifices that were made to have children, right? And to bring us into the world and to make sure that we were well and to make sure that we were fed and to make sure that we were safe. And so much, much gratitude. Um, and having said all of that, there's no like, oh, and but, like, it was also very difficult and challenging financially. But I was like really taught at a young age that like money does not make you happy. Like money does not make you happy. And I'm really glad that I learned that very early on because I saw family members. I saw family members who have it all material wise and would compete and be greedy and just like revolt against one another and talk like poorly about other family members behind their back and judge and criticize and all these things. And it's just not nice behavior, just really unkind behavior. And you would think like you're like, well, I have it all. I've got it all. I've got the house. I've got the mansion. I've got the golf course. I've got this whatever. And then to still be doing that, it's like, come on, man. Like have like a little bit of humanity. So I never understood that. So then I went on the complete opposite end of the spectrum and was like, money is bad. Money, like, I can't keep this and whatever. And so I've had a very, tumultuous experience with the financial aspect of abundance. But that's not all there is. An abundant mindset is feeling Like there's abundance everywhere that exists around you. It's in the creation, it's in how you see the world, it's in how you nourish your interactions, it's what you bring to each interaction, it's what you bring to create in this landscape of the world that we are in. And I'm so grateful because I know that that has saved me on so many occasions. The way that I see the world, the way that I see things around me, I'm like, look around us. Look around us right now. Like we Mother Nature provides so much for us, and like so much nourishment, so much sustenance, so much care, and like I keep talking about this, like how lush the trees are. Wow, I'm so sorry. The sound is really distracting. It's okay. It's okay. And no matter how like low I've been at in my life, like truly, like living in like, let's say, not the most put together homes, or not necessarily the most elegant or pristine places, like I have still been able to exert and maintain a mindset full of abundance, and nobody could take that away from me. Like nobody can take that away from me, and that's the beauty of being a co-creator in this world. That is truly the beauty of being a co-creator in this world, because you don't see it as like, oh, you are entitled to something, oh, look, you need this and this, da, 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 da. You come into it with a mindset of like, okay, there is a reciprocity. When I get something, I give back. When you take something, you give back. And it's um, constantly like being within this cycle of service, of just being able to kind of maintain that equilibrium of life and creation. So yeah, that can manifest in so many different realms. That can manifest within the material realm. That can manifest in a spiritual realm. That can manifest in an emotional plane as well. And so knowing that like you are only going to attract what you feel at home with, and if you feel at home with scarcity and lack, you are only going to keep bringing more of that into your life. You are only going to keep bringing more into that into your life, even if you have quote unquote what like material success is. So for you to change that mindset, you really need to reorient your understanding to be that of, okay, where did I develop these limiting beliefs, right? Like just how I did in this exercise right now of me talking about childhood. Where did I develop these limiting beliefs? Who are the models? Who are the people that maybe I might have fixated on, or I might have taken those messages from, and then I might have kind of boiled it down to my own truth, but might not actually be the truth. How do you constantly question that? And what are your beliefs now? Like who, like what kind of gives you the ick? What gives you the ick? And what, like, really question that. What really motivates you, inspires you? For me, like, I'll be honest, I don't want a bunch of stuff. Like I truly don't want a bunch of stuff. Like that does not make me happy. I do like to self-express. I do like to buy clothing. I do like to, make myself like appear and adorned and just like dress up and that sort of thing. That's maybe one area, but like I don't need to have $1 million to do that. But to think about every single day how, you can exert an abundant mindset. And again, applying it to all realms of your life. And that comes from gratitude. That comes from really mentally filtering your mind to see things for what they are, and for the beauty in what they are. And I know for a lot of people, especially like when I went through like really, really deep bouts of depression, it was very hard for me to see that. It was very hard for me to see that through times. And I really empathize with anybody who's really in the dumps and feels like, wow, like I really cannot see the beauty in this right now. I really can't. But to know that if you look for it, and if you train your mind to constantly look for it, even if it's hard, even if it's challenging at first, that you will be able to train your mind to do it. I promise you, you will be able to train your mind to do it. Um, and and it's a beautiful part. And maybe you have to write it down. Maybe you have to write down the same thing like repetitively 10 times a day, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I just hope this like sends a message of like, you will only attract what you are comfortable and at home with. And if you're at home with scarcity, if you're at home with lack, if you're at home with this feeling of depletion and like no energy and drained and feeling like distrustful and disease, then unfortunately it's going to keep replicating. So you have to change something in your mind, in your narrative, and whether you write it down, whether you record yourself, whether you talk to a friend and say it, and you might not believe it at first glance. At first glance, so if I'm writing an essay, at first impression, you have to believe that there's going to be another way. Again, I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who, like, literally, you know, was not given anything. Like, I'm not saying that. I've obviously had a community. I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm self-made. That's not at all what I'm saying. I think there's a community, and I've had so much love and so much compassion and um, so much nurturance in my life through so many different people and through so many different relationships. But um, I really wasn't given anything. Like, I wasn't like, oh, Chantel, here you go. Like, here's like, you're born with a spoon in your mouth. What's that expression? Silver spoon in your mouth. It wasn't like that. And for those of you who don't know me, you probably are like, what is this girl thinking she's doing with her bougie, not at all bohemian lifestyle? It's like, this is created. This is created. So if I can do it, anyone else can do it. I really believe that if I can do it, you can do it. So, yep, hope this message is received by the right people today. And wishing you a beautiful, beautiful long weekend. Hopefully, you get to go outside, and hopefully, you get to spend time with loved ones. And yeah, sending you so much love. Sending you so much love.